This week on WestfordCAT News, the owner of 2 dangerous dogs brings her case to Air District Court. An unsung heroine from Westford is recognized for her tireless efforts to raise awareness of domestic violence.
Oh my gosh, it is literally the best day of the year. There's friends everywhere. There's caring people from all Westford and all surrounding towns. I couldn't be happier, Joyce. It really is such a good day. My daughter Olivia is remembered.
And a long-term town volunteer retires.
Can I just say to Casey that I've really enjoyed working with you the past 11 years.
I'm Nancy Burns, a WestfordCAT board member. Before we get started, I'd like to remind you to sign up for our email alerts to get our latest Westford news articles. Just visit westfordcatnews.org and click on the red subscribe button in the upper right corner. Air District Court Justice Margaret Guzman presided over an evidentiary hearing on June 21st regarding 2 dangerous dogs from the Wilson Farm Drive neighborhood. The court action was requested by the dog's owner, Haley Gallagher, and her attorney, David McCool. Among other things, Gallagher and McCool charged that selectmen's orders were made without proper cause. According to Air District Court Clerk Tina Ramos, Guzman took the request under advisement and will rule on the hearing when she returns from vacation in about a week. On May 2nd, Gallagher and McCool agreed to surrender the dogs within 24 hours so that they could be housed in a kennel and observed by an animal expert over a 14-day period.
Yeah, so I think if it's ends up being amenable to the board, we can, write down some simple terms for that. And, do you think within 48 hours you can turn over the dog and render payment?
Yes.
But on May 3rd, the 2 breached the agreement they made with the Board of Selectmen. Instead, a friend of Gallagher's allegedly transported the dogs, Wendy and Luca, to a New Bedford residence. The dogs reportedly escaped from the premises and have not resurfaced. There's more dog trouble in town. On June 11th, 19-year-old Sylvanarith Powers of 4 North Street was bitten by his next-door neighbor's dog, a pit bull mix. The dog got loose from its 6 North Street yard and went after Powers' golden retriever. Powers got between the 2 dogs and in the process was bitten, suffering broken skin and bleeding. The incident is still under investigation.
I'm gonna read it. I move to find the dog Duchess, a dangerous dog pursuant to Chapter 140, Section 157, and Chapter 140, Section 136A, and order that a fence be installed around the property where Duchess is currently being housed of sufficient height and design at the discretion of the animal control officer to contain the dog and leash the dog at all times when not within the fenced area. Fence shall be installed and inspected by the animal control officer by July 9th, 2019.
Concern over a widening budget gap dominated discussion at the WestfordCAT annual meeting on June 19th, where almost 30 volunteers and board members gathered. WestfordCAT Board President Dan Bush kicked things off by installing board officers and having the minutes from last year's meeting approved.
We continue to grow on the diversification of our programming, which again you'll hear some stats about in just a little bit. And again, we're also pleased with the growth of our own board. And so we're going to have a vote in a minute for the growth of our board again. But you may know someone, or you may be someone who is interested in serving on the WestfordCAT board.
But an undercurrent of worry ran through the gathering as the station faces more than a 9% drop in its assets. Cable company revenues from television services are down, and so the franchise fees paid to the community access stations are down as well. Like many community access television stations feeling the pinch of cord cutters, WestfordCAT is in danger of losing services or personnel in order to balance the budget. Executive Director Lauren Horton said her staff members video record more meetings than the station is contractually obligated to cover.
We're under contract to record government meetings, and only 3 of them, Planning Board, Selectmen, and the School Committee. And we do a lot more than that. We record last year over 126 meetings. That may, we may need to cut back on that, which would be a real disservice. We do it because it's the right thing to do, but if I'm looking at my resources and I'm saying I have to balance my budget, where do I go? Where do I cut? That's that is an area.
Horton highlighted a number of studio upgrades paid for with capital grants from Comcast and Verizon. Among the most notable improvements were the new edit systems and virtual reality equipment in the studio's front area. The new workstations helped boost the volume of productions over the year, including more than 200 studio productions and 126 on-location government meetings. Almost 40 new members joined WestfordCAT in 2018, and subscriptions to the daily WestfordCAT news service surpassed the 500 mark. Horton noted online viewing of programs skyrocketed over the past year.
We look at our numbers and we're seeing that there's been such a rise in online viewing, especially on YouTube. It's gone up 60%. So that kind of gives us the sort of notion that people are cutting their cable. They are watching online. We still want to, of course, support the community, but that leaves us with a challenge.
Watch the entire annual meeting at westfordcat.org. Here's News Director Joyce Polino Crane with a highlight from the Selectmen's meeting.
Thanks, Nancy. The Town School Safety Task Force succeeded in winning approval from the Board of Selectmen and Finance Committee to make an end-of-year transfer of funds from the town's health insurance account into the town manager's consulting services account. The additional $37,690 to the town meeting approved $200,000 will allow the task force to cover the costs of conducting a needs assessment for both the schools and the town. Here's Selectman Tom Clay.
What ended up happening is we first found a good provider for the physical security part. So we took on that whole portion for the town and the schools. I think it went very successfully. We, in a number of steps, got to a place where we now have a very good proposal from Health Management Associates for the emotional wellness part, but they presented to us a base bid that was just schools. This is what we asked them to do. Base bid that was just schools. The add-alt was the town, also the town facility and staff. And so we do have funds available within the $200,000 cap to do just the schools portion, and I think that's what we would move forward with if this was turned down. But we think for a bunch of reasons, related to Virginia Beach, related to just the mechanics of doing this program. We really want to include the town. We think now is the best time to do it. And so in order to do both, we'll need $237,690 instead of just the 200. So that's what we're asking for today, is to transfer to be able to complete both pieces with the school and the town.
To watch the entire Selectmen's meeting, visit westfordcat.org. Back to you, Nancy.
Jody Marchand, who has devoted her life to raising awareness of domestic violence, was named an Unsung Heroine on June 18th by the Massachusetts Commission on the Status of Women. Marchand, along with some 351 women from each community in the state, was invited to the State House to receive her House resolution from State Representative James Arcero, who nominated her. According to the Commission's website, unsung heroines are the people behind the scenes who help to make everything work out. These are the women who know how to make a difference and are ready to mentor or pitch in without expecting anything in return. In 2010, Marchand lost her 17-year-old daughter Olivia to an act of domestic violence that also left Marchand critically wounded. She founded the Live for Live Foundation and began raising funds through her annual event, the Ride for Live, Run for Live. This year, the event takes place on Sunday, July 14th at the 4-H Fairgrounds on South Chelmsford Road in Westford. Registration begins at 8 a.m. and the first race takes off at 8:30. Stay tuned. WestfordCAT will bring you more news in a recap of the day's event. A longtime contributor to town committees and boards, Casey Caviston is stepping down this month from his role as chairman of the Parks and Recreation Commission. Caviston also served in the Community Center, Millworks, Recreation Department Task Force. He sat on the board of directors for Westford Youth Baseball, and he was a member of the Westford Friends of Recreation. Selectmen recognized him at their June 25th meeting.
First order of business today is to recognize one of our town's many outstanding volunteers. Casey, could you come up and stand where we can see you and appreciate your excellence? So Casey, this is just a few notes about Casey from his many fans in town. Casey was on the first major master plan committee back in 1993. One of Casey's goals has always been the promotion and development of the town's recreation programs. Following his involvement with the master plan committee, Casey joined the Parks and Rec Commission, ultimately serving for 18 years. Thank you for that. The vast majority of those years, Casey served as chair of the commission. In addition, he was member of the Community Center, Millworks, Recreation Department Task Force, served as part of the hiring committee for the new Parks and Rec director in 2018, and has provided leadership on a number of Parks and Rec special projects, such as recent projects like the American Legion field redesign effort and the Forge Beach revitalization project. Outside his involvement with town boards and commissions, Casey was very active with various nonprofit organizations. He was a key member of the leadership team that helped establish the first artificial turf fields in Westford, and that project required over $1 million in fundraising and a tremendous amount of organizing and working with various town staff and boards. The end result was went well with all the effort and provided Westford residents with 2 beautiful artificial turf fields on Nutting Road. Casey also served on the board of directors for Westford Friends of Recreation. He was involved with Westford Youth Baseball as a coach for 18 years and as a director and board member for 12 of that time. In addition, Casey somehow found time to coach and be a director on the Westford Youth Basketball Board for a number of years. Westford is very fortunate to have many wonderful and committed volunteers, but among those, Casey has been a standout among that group for all of his efforts on the town's behalf. You've left a lasting impression, a lasting legacy, which has benefited many of the residents and will continue to provide value for years to come. Thank you, Casey.
Chris told me that this was going to happen, and I was thinking about the 18 years. I mean, really, I tell people the story. The first time my son was 5 years old, and I brought him up to register him for a recreation program. It was beside the back door, the old entrance to the town hall before it was renovated. And they called it the recreation office, and literally, I think when they built the building, it was a coat closet. So, you know, and then they moved them to Broadway Street over the old fire station, and literally you could look through the floor of the bathroom and see down before. So the rec department's come a long way, and I'm glad I could be a part of that, and really appreciate the opportunity to help out, and hopefully it's well on its way to helping improve the lives of the citizens of the town. Thank you.
Watch the entire meeting at westfordcat.org. Recycling Commissioner Ellen Hardy is here with another recycling tip.
Think you know what to recycle? Think again. The rules have changed. But there is a wonderful website that will help you, and we are here to help you. I want to introduce you to a website that's called Recycle Smart, MA, and it's also known as the Recyclopedia. Wine bottle, 100% glass. Even this foil neck is not a problem. That's a small enough amount that can go in. Let's just check the Recyclopedia and make sure that they agree with that. Put this item in your recycling bin so they don't care that this small amount. The corks, however, go in your trash. So never put the cork back in your wine bottle after you finish that up. Just plain plastic, that can certainly go in without any problem at all. The top to the margarine is perfectly recyclable. Must have been a party, because we also have some gift wrap here. Now this is paper, but you'll notice that one side is foil and the other side is paper. That combination is what's killing the recycling industry. So I believe that this goes in the trash, but let's just go back and ask our magic Recyclopedia exactly what they say. So here it is. It comes right up and tells you exactly what you can do. And I was absolutely right. It says that if there's any foil in it at all, they don't want you to recycle it. So this will have to go into our wastebasket. That cannot be recycled. A photograph. Photographs cannot go into the recycling. It has a glossy front and a paper back, and the two together don't work. So we're going to have to either put this on a refrigerator with a magnet, or we'll have to put that in our trash. So there are an infinite number of packaging items that everyone in Westford is bringing into their home every single day, and we're hoping that the Recyclopedia MA will teach you what to do with them. But if you have any questions at all, the reason that the 7 members of the Recycling Commission are here is to help you learn how this works. We're learning as you are learning, but hopefully we're a couple of steps ahead of you. So let's all do this together and have Westford's recycling be the best in the Commonwealth. Thank you.
Lily, an 11-year-old domestic long-haired cat, is available now for adoption at the Lowell Humane Society. Here's WestfordCAT's production coordinator, Patty Stocker, with more.
11-year-old Lily, a sweet little long-haired cat who has been at the shelter since March, is available now for adoption at the Lowell Humane Society. Here's adoption counselor Erin Milligan with more on Lily.
Hi, so this is Lily. Lily is a very sweet girl. She's about 11. She came to us at the shelter back in March. She does love to be pet. She loves her attention, time with people. She does get nervous around other animals, so she is going to ask to be the only pet in the home. Quieter, older, cat-savvy kids she'd probably do fine with. So at one point in time, the family had her declawed. Unfortunately, the job wasn't done correctly, so it was causing a lot of pain, a lot of stress on her feet. She has been on a special type of cat litter that's softer, so it doesn't hurt her feet, and she can use the bathroom, because without it she was having trouble with that. But she does great on that soft feline pine cat litter. Does use the litter box very well on it. Because the declaw was not done properly the first time, unfortunately we did have to go back and do a corrective surgery for it, so her feet wouldn't be as painful. So if someone is looking for a declawed cat, she is this girl. But we are also looking for a family who is comfortable with going to the vet and has used the vet before and has a good relationship with their own vet, because not only did she have that type of corrective surgery done, but in that process we also found out that she has a pretty significant heart murmur, which she is on medication for. She takes the medication very well, but because of that the vet is going to want to keep a closer eye on her and also continue her on that medication just to keep her as healthy as possible. When she came into us, she did come in initially because the landlord said no cats. And that's how we come to find out more of this story of hers. She also did spend time in a foster home for us while she's been here. The foster home said she loves to be pet, she loves to hang out with you, very sweet, just would prefer to be the only pet.
If you think you'd like to provide Lily with her forever home, or would like more information on donating to or volunteering at the Lowell Humane Society, visit them Tuesday through Sunday at 951 Broadway Street in Lowell, or go to lowellhumanesociety.org. Call 978-452-7781. You can also find them on Facebook. For WestfordCAT, I'm Patty Stocker.
With the 4th of July just around the corner, things are heating up around here. Let's see what weather.com has to say. Here's WestfordCAT board member Betsy Alvarez with suggestions for things to do in the area.
Thanks, Nancy. It is not too soon to register for the Cameron Senior Center's trip to Hyannis on the Cape with Royal Tours. The theme, JFK in Hyannis. Visit one of the 35th President's most loved places. Enjoy a boat ride aboard the Highline cruises, which includes a narration on the history of Hyannis and a viewing of the Kennedy compound in Hyannisport. Lunch will be served at the Cape Codder Resort before the group visits the JFK Museum to take in a multimedia exhibit of photos, films, and artifacts. Leave from the Franco-American Club on September 19 at 8 a.m. You'll return at approximately 6:15 p.m. The cost is $105 per person. For more information, visit rodenbush.org. The Cameron Senior Center is also hosting a big-time barbecue at Kimball Farm on Friday, July 12 at 12 p.m. Enjoy the bumper boats, the driving range, the miniature golf courses, the bumper cars, and games of bingo, all for $25 per Westford resident. The day also includes a hamburger or hot dog lunch and a Kimball Farm ice cream buffet. The Flashback Band will provide the entertainment. For more information or to arrange transportation, call 978-399-2322. Juggler Lucian Fuller will perform at Boarding House Park on Wednesday, July 10. Fuller has entertained at Universal Studios, Walt Disney, and has been featured on cruise ships at corporate events and television broadcasts worldwide and in circuses. Part of the Lowell Summer Music Series children's programs, the show starts at 11 a.m. and is free of charge. Visit lowellsummermusic.org for more information. I am Betsy Alvarez, a WestfordCAT board member. Back to you, Nancy.
That's it for now, Westford. Here are images from the media camp we held this week.